Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, welcome back. I'd like to give a thank you to everybody that attended the live stream last night. We had a good time. If you missed it, you missed it. Anybody out there watching? But I appreciate people showing support and coming out, and we had just it was very good. And I hope you guys got your money's worth out of it. But anyway, check it out, guys. Listen, this story, and shout out to Willie D that broke the story, and you know, on his YouTube, you can go check it out. He broke this story about a 12 or 13-year-old boy. I think he's 13, depending on what you see in the news clippings. They say 12, they say 13, but same thing, close to. And his name is Koran Blake. And a lot of people in the DC area are talking about the story supposedly on January 7th, which was a Saturday night. Koran Blake was in the car with at least 2 to 3 other people. And he was shot by a man who's called Jason Lewis. He's 41 years old. And he had a license to conceal and carry license. Supposedly, the way the story goes is this. 12-year-old Koran Blake was with some other people. They had a getaway car. They pulled up and parked on a side street. Koran got out, supposedly with some other kids, and they were flashing flashlights in cars. As if, you know, I guess they're going to rob some cars or going through cars. Supposedly, 41-year-old Jason Lewis woke up to disturbance outside. Came outside, seen Koran and whoever else was out there with him, and he fired 3 shots. Supposedly firing 2 shots at Koran, which I guess one of them hit him, and he shot once at the car that he came out of. And supposedly when he got shot, a lot of stories say before he got shot or after he got shot, he said, "Hey, I'm a kid. Please don't shoot." But the story, new developments come out saying that he got shot after, you know, before he said that. So he was already shot when he said, "Hey, I'm 12, I'm a kid," and this and that. And, you know, the community's in uproar. And there's a lot of different twists to the story. And I want to go over, you know, a little bit of all of it, if you give me time. And I'm going to start with Jason Lewis first. You know, because they're charging him now. Now, this investigation has been going on for a while in Washington, D.C. Police Department. Well, not Washington, D.C., but, you know, the D.C. Police Department has said the reason why the investigation has took so long, because there have been protests out there about, you know, what's taking so long, is they wanted to make sure it was self-defense. And then, you know, from them talking about it, they realized this, you know, it can go into charge of second-degree murder with Jason Lewis being the defendant in that case. Now, my issue is this. First part is, we'll go with Jason Lewis first, the one that got shot. I don't know if he should be locked up or anything like that. I don't know the case, like really know the case, because I mean, more details are coming out as we're doing these videos. Supposedly, the man came out, he's in a neighborhood watch or something. He came out there with the gun. And things happen. My thing is this. I don't think he knew that was a kid. But I think he came out there with the idea of, hey, I'm a, you know, not shoot somebody, but I'm going to make my presence known in the neighborhood watch. I think it was more along the lines of that. Because for you to get up and then come out your house with a gun on you already, it puts you in a position to where, number one, you may be fearful. Some people are scary like that. Or it might make you, it's comforting to make you feel a little bit more powerful. When he came out, and there's a video showing, it's very dark, but you got to look. You'll see him standing at his door. The way his house is set up, it's one of those houses where he has a wrought iron gate for the part to come in to the sidewalk in his yard. And it's high wall cement to where he can't see. So when the guy said, "Hey, who's there?" or whatever, you seen the little boy, Koran, come up and stop where he could see the guy, and he looked like he was saying something before the guy shot him. And I think that's wrong. You know, and the guy wasn't, because the guy said, oh, he ran up on me. He didn't run up on you. If you look at the video, he didn't run up on you. He was in the street. So, first thing he did, he spoke a little bit, shot him. You seen the boy run off, and then you seen the getaway car take off. Because he shot at the getaway car too. He fired two shots. 2 at Koran, 1 at the getaway car. So, my thing is this. I have no doubt in my mind, you didn't come out there on some cowboy shit. You know, Mr. Lewis, you came out there on some cowboy shit. When you seen that, you know, because he shot into parked cars and everything. When you seen that somebody was out there, you could have called the police first. There's so many things you could have did to cover yourself to where you wouldn't even have to go out there with a pistol. And then the thing is, it wasn't even your car. You know what I'm saying? Do I doubt he knew that was a kid? No, I don't doubt he knew that was a kid. Nobody knows what's out there. You know, he got that high gate. He hears disturbance. We don't know the type of crime that goes on in the neighborhood he's in. They do have a neighborhood watch. And I'm not defending this man by no means, because I think some of the stuff he did was idiotic. And it was poor judgment for a man his age that could have put, instead of putting life in jeopardy of somebody else, his life as well. And, you know, the court system to deal with that. Next thing I'm going to do is just go to the situation of yesterday. Why this is making a lot of news nationally now is yesterday the mother broke her silence and got in a press conference. And I'm going to be straight honest with this situation, man. It was a bad look to me. Because number one, this little boy who's 12 or 13 years old, give or take 6 months or whatever, according to reports, was outside 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning. It's a surveillance video. It says 3 something. So I think it's closer to 4 o'clock, because a lot of people say 3 and 4 a.m. But on a Saturday night, 4 a.m. in the morning, your 12 or 13-year-old son is not in the home. So that's going to be questions people ask, and it's going to say a lot about, you know, how people think about you as a parent in this case. And I want you guys to remember that, because in the press conference, she came in and seemed as, to me, like she got an attitude when she was asked questions. Ma'am, you're in front of the press. What you think they're going to say? And you know the obvious questions. You had a lawyer. He already should have prepped you for this. Hey, they're going to ask you this. They're going to ask you that. Are you ready to answer this? You could have sat up there and said no comment. Because a lot of times, anytime something with a child, a crime against a child, whether, you know, they're alive or not, it's going to spark a lot of public outrage. And you know people are going to ask certain questions, and you're going to be successful being up there and answering them, whether you want to or not. Because a lot of people, no matter what, look at the circumstance. He's out there looking in cars with flashlights with a group of other people, most likely his age, in a time he's supposed to be in the house. It's always going to reflect on people asking, hey, what was you doing as a parent? And that's one of the things. But anyway, let me get into this. She got up there and she said a couple of things that really bothered me. And this is stuff you hear a lot of women say sometimes. And the first thing is this. When she got up there, she said this. She said, my son, I count on him. And she said, I don't live with no man. And she said it just like that. Like she telling people, I don't live with no man. He was the man of the house. I have a big problem with that. And a lot of men seem to have a problem with that more than women do. And this is why, and I want to get deep into this, guys. So, I mean, before you make a judgment of how you feel about me saying this, just listen to what I'm saying. I have a big problem when they say, they title it, man of the house. You're the man of the house. You hear a lot of rappers talk about, daddy wasn't there, so I had to be the man of the house. I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I don't know any stories of when somebody was told they're the man of the house that ended well for the boy that was under that title. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. I know. If they might be stories out there, but they are far and between, few and far in between the reality of that title. And I have a big problem with that title. And the reason why I had a problem with the title Man in the House is this. Number one, it strips part of the childhood by title. You cannot tell a 12 or 13-year-old boy you're the man of the house. He doesn't even know what a manhood is. 12 years old, he just entering puberty. If not, what does he know about being a man? That creates feelings and concerns unbecoming of a successful upbringing of a child. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Give me a thumbs up if you feel me on this video, man. With calling a child the man of the house as the mother who has authority over him and is responsible for his well-being and protection because it's just you as the only adult parental leader in the house, it does what? You make your stress your child's stress. And I said this in a lot of videos, folks. I always say, don't make your problem other people's problem. And this is a perfect example. If what she's saying is correct and the way she said it, like she said, kids sometimes are forced to grow up fast. I can understand that to an extent, but in this case, why would he have to grow up fast? Because the dad wasn't there? Or because she said she don't have no man. So it ain't no father present or anything like that. Listen, you can't make your problem other people's problem. Now that you've entitled him with the stress of man of the house, the man of the house bears what? Most of the stress. The man of the house does what? Problem solves. See what I'm saying? Listen, guys, and I'm going to be dead honest with you. She got upset when somebody asked her, but weren't you concerned about your son being outside and dying at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning? Her response was this: would you rather it be 4 in the afternoon? No, man, we'd rather he not be dead at all. Now, if the child snuck out the house, and kids do that, we're not going to lie. Kids will sneak out the house, I understand that. But, I mean, the way she reacted and the way she came off, it was like she was deflecting, or she was like insulted that somebody would ask her some question. That's the only issue I have with her. I don't want to say only issue. Another issue is she didn't seem disturbed with me. She seemed like she was more upset about answering questions than the loss of her child. I didn't see any emotion like that. Then she was like breaking it down like, oh, well, this, you got to understand, it's like this and it's like that. No, we can't. Sometimes we can't understand that. And back to this man in the house thing, guys, let me say this real quick. You can't be man of the house unless you had an example of what a man is to be man of the house. And that is impossible to do for a 12-year-old kid that don't know anything. And this makes the story sad. She got upset and kept deflecting Mr. Lewis. He's the one that took my son. He's the one that killed my son. And then she stormed off and people tried to grab her. She had an attitude. That's the big thing. No, it's not. That's not the big thing. That's the ultimate result of it, the ultimate tragedy, but that's not the big thing. Listen, when you don't have a man in the house, guys, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be honest with you. 5 things they don't teach you in high school or middle school or elementary school. And it's the only things, especially a lot of male children can learn from male children. Now, raising a child by yourself, in all sympathy, is a very hard thing. Whether you're a man raising kids or a female. Because it takes 2 to make a baby, and it takes 2 people to raise a child successfully. Now, it does happen with one parent. It does, but it takes a lot of sacrifice for that person to upbring this child. And a lot of times these children are not getting the adequate support and resources put around them and sacrifices by parents sometimes when the parent is single, be it male or female. And I'm just going to be honest with that. Not having a man around the boy or a man in the house, a lot of times, like I said, things in high school they don't teach you and all these other schools is this. And I'm going to break it down. First thing is this: conflict resolution, communication, and controlling stress at one's age. She told him he was the man of the house. So now what, he got to think about bills? He got to think about if they eat or not? He got to think about other things? Problem solving? You know, dealing with conflict in the house and stuff like that? That's his job at 12 years old, and you're the grown-up. That's the first thing. Second thing, that's lacking, that, you know, you learn from a male is this: collaboration, ability to work together towards a common goal. You know, he's not the parent, so how can he co-parent other kids that got siblings? We see it a lot of times, especially on YouTube. People want to do collabs, and then they do a collab, and all of a sudden they at each other's throat. And there's a lot of YouTube beef and all of this stuff. You got to learn to work together with people. I'm tying my shoe. You got to learn to work together with people that, you know, to a common goal. And a lot of times, boys don't learn that. Another thing is consistency. You know, being consistent, stable, and constant action and thought. Hey, I don't want to do this because if I do this, this will happen, and it's consequences. In other words, what I'm saying is reflection. And the reason why I'm bringing these points up is when you look at this story and you look at these points I'm bringing up, these points, look at how many was lacking in a kid that she was naming man of the house. Another thing is this: we got conflict resolution, collaboration, and then we got consistency. You know, let's go to compromise. The ability to compromise. Doing what you want to do. Doing what you have to do to later on in life do what you want to do. That's only something a man learns through experience of being a man. A lot of times when they're on their own, this boy never had a chance to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Looking for a win-win situation. To him, that might have been a win-win situation. I won't get caught, and then I'll go and do something to help my mom if that's the case. What she's saying is really correct. That leads me to the last point: communication. You understand what I'm saying? The ability to express yourself and the ability to listen as well as, you know, express yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, wars have been fought because there have been a lack of communication, because messages wasn't heard. And I think it's a sad thing that this boy is so young as he is. Yeah, he did a crazy, you know, thing that ended up putting him in the grave. But you cannot tell me as a mother or as a parent at that time, you didn't see changes or you didn't see behaviors that you knew as a woman or as his mother. There's things you couldn't give him. And I don't think he was put in a position where he had adequate support around him, and it leads to timely demise. It happens a lot, folks. And I got to be real with you. You know, the man didn't have to shoot him. He didn't have to sneak out the house, if that's what it was. She didn't have to be defensive and seem like she's just putting the blame on the man, and don't matter what time her son was out, it shouldn't have happened. A long time ago, my grandfather told me don't nothing happen good after 12 o'clock, especially for a kid. It's one of those things. It's a sad story, man. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about it. I'll leave a link to the description. You know, in the description box, I'll leave like all the stories. It's like 2 or 3 of them. I'll leave all of them so you can get a different opinion of what they were. And you just text me and, text me. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. But I think it's a lot of wrong along. Everybody can bear some brunt of the blame. And that calling somebody the man of the house, you don't know how a child's going to take that. You don't have a child's mind. A lot of times we put an adult's thinking into a child when they do something wrong and get upset when they don't do what we do. The reason why we do what we do is because of experience. How much experience this boy had in life at 12 years old? Let's be honest, man. I'm Stock Market Steve. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.